radical. I got to get this. So the Altis Corner was the famous brothel, and it was a big, beautiful, incredible, one of the most high-end, famous brothels in the world right here. 60,000 people a day would come through here. That corner right there was the Blood Hotel. Murder for hire. You can watch Junction, it gets into it, that documentary. But this is my best story on 25th, and I have hundreds of them. So I'm 18 years old. I worked for George Pappas. I did all his plaster work. He was a builder. He was a contractor. He was a good builder too, by the way. But the hotel had burnt down in the 60s. And so it was vacant. So right here, it's my first really grand fresco I ever did. And it was, I think, one of my best I ever did. So before that was there, George wanted me to cover that wall with cement base plaster. By the way, I did the back of that. Maybe we'll walk over and she'll get a look at that. It's still there. You can still see my chicken track, one of the few. I used to put this big chicken track all over. They were 100, all cement base. I was only 18, but I already been plastering for a couple of years. And I already had it down. So I'm working on it. And it was this Japanese restaurant, not Chinese. People have it confused thinking it was all Chinese. No, it was Japanese. It was called J Street. Including Wat Masaka, who lived right there, the first player of color in the history of the NBA. You want to talk about a class act man. Oh, I love that guy. Why does Weber State never mention his name? That's a very good question. Same reason they don't follow McKay Brody. Same reason they keep importing all these fake artists from all over the freaking world here when we have all kinds of great Utah artists. Up there, the top of that, that's my hand. I worked on all these, every single one of them. So, this is my favorite story. So, one day, I'm plastering along right over there. So, I come to work in the morning. I park my work truck right. This is a vacant lot. And I'm plastering the wall. You could see my hand, a little teeny corner of it, because they covered it up. That's what they do here, just like the big feather cap there. See the corner right there, the top corner? That's all that's exposed of this beautiful fresco I had across that whole wall. George Pappas owned all these buildings, still does. And so I come to work one day and there's a dead body up there and he's been beat to death with a hoe. Like, whoa, George is right there. They come, the authorities come and put him in the coroner's wagon. Never did he make the papers. That's how many murders were down here a day in the late 70s. The Blood Hotel, you could call. This was brothel also. This was a brothel. You could call down here, and the cops were all corrupt. The whole city was corrupt. And this whole city was run by madams for 100 years. The economy of this street was all prostitution, 100%. I'll tell you the irony of this building, the Altis building. Remember the girl who got charged with having sex, the school teacher with a student, went to prison? Yeah, that's her bloodline right here. Altis, that's her maiden name. So anyway, you could call and to have someone murdered, and the prostitutes would lure them in right there, throw the body in the back, and the cops were all in it. They'd never been heard from again. They did it to hundreds of people. You know, this is the economy of Utah. And so they load him up. A couple weeks later, I'm working here. My hoe breaks. I still do. I mix with a hoe and a wheelbarrow. I don't believe in, you know, I never used anything mechanical. I was organic, always that. Everybody say, where's your mixers? And I point, there's Jerry and Stacy right there. You know, I'd have 10,000 of them. So I'm like, George says, well, there's that hole laying around back there. I says, it's a murder weapon. Who gives a shit? They don't care. Just go get it. It's broken off. I like the shorthand hook. So I used it for years. That's really quite the story. So let's see if we can walk over here and see if I can have the camera. The murder for hire. So I did all that restoration. Don't even get me going on that new building that they did there and covered. There's the coolest mural in Ogden there. One of them in the country. This giant Victorian female feathered hat cigar commercial. And they covered it up. I'm like, just leave it back. You know, when they put those new buildings, because that lot was vacant for my whole life. So, children behave. There's my chicken track. Can't believe it's still going. I don't know if you can see it. The sunlight is really beating right above the 103 right there. You could see it. Let's see if we can get in here. Children behave, that's what they say when we're together. Things that we say, 'cause we're running.